Sam Altman once said publicly that what he's building will most likely lead to the end of the world. And then he kept building it anyway. That one sentence tells you almost everything you need to know about Openai, a company founded to protect humanity from dangerous AI that became one of the most powerful AI companies on Earth, abandoned nearly every principle it started with, fired its own CEO in a boardroom coup, and then watched him come back 5 days later more powerful than before. This is the insane truth about Openai. The fear that started it all. In 2015, Elon Musk was afraid. At that point, Google controlled the AI landscape. They had acquired almost every serious AI research lab and had roughly 3/4 of the top AI talent on the planet working for them. And when Musk sat down with Google CEO Larry Page and asked how he could be sure superintelligent AI wouldn't wipe out humanity, Page dismissed it entirely, said Musk was being paranoid. That conversation terrified Musk. One company with a near monopoly on AI, led by someone who didn't seem to care about the consequences. He felt the only solution was to build a competitor. So in 2015, he co-founded Openai as a nonprofit. No profit motive, open source, transparent, built for the benefit of all humanity, not for any single company's gain. They even named it Openai to signal that the technology would be shared freely with the world. Within a few years, almost every one of those promises was broken. The nonprofit that became a corporation. The early days looked nothing like a world-changing company. A small team in a co-founder's apartment, $1 billion pledged, and no real strategy. They built a bot to play Dota 2. They tried to build a robot butler. One early employee admitted, "We were just doing random stuff and seeing what would happen." Then in 2018, Elon Musk resigned from the board. Officially, they cited a conflict of interest. Tesla was developing its own AI. The real story was that Musk had tried to take over Openai and merge it into Tesla. The board refused. He left and took most of his promised funding with him. He had pledged $1 billion but paid less than $100 million. Openai was suddenly broke. And that's when they made the decision that would define everything that followed. They converted from a non-profit to a for-profit company. They began licensing their technology commercially. And they partnered with Microsoft, one of the world's largest tech corporations, in exchange for $1 billion investment. The company, founded as the antidote to big tech, had just partnered with one of the biggest. Elon Musk would later sue them, demanding they rename themselves Closed AI, not entirely unfair. The breakthrough they didn't invent. Here's one of the great ironies of the Openai story. The technology that made them the most powerful AI company in the world was invented by Google. In 2017, a team of Google engineers published a research paper called "Attention is All You Need." It introduced a new AI architecture called the Transformer. Unlike previous AI systems that needed carefully labeled data, the Transformer could process messy, unlabeled data and essentially teach itself. Fed enough text from the internet, it could become extraordinarily general, able to handle almost any question on almost any topic. But Google was too slow to use it. They worried a chatbot might say something outlandish and damage their reputation. More crucially, they feared it could cannibalize their search advertising business, the engine that funded everything. Openai had no such hesitation. Their star researcher Ilya Sutskever read the paper and immediately saw the potential. They became one of the first companies to seriously build on the Transformer architecture. That's where GPT came from, Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Google handed them the blueprint. Openai used it to build the house. ChatGPT and the 5 days that broke the internet. On November 30th, 2022, Sam Altman posted a single tweet. "Today, we launched ChatGPT. No fanfare." Internally, employees bet on first-week users. The highest guess was 100,000. In reality, ChatGPT hit 100 million users in 2 months. Facebook had taken 4.5 years to reach the same milestone. The AI race exploded overnight. Microsoft doubled down with a $10 billion investment. Google panicked. Every major tech company scrambled. Openai was the center of it all, and Sam Altman was the most talked about CEO in the world. And then, less than a year later, he got a text from Ilya Sutskever asking him to join a video call. The board was on the call. Sam was fired on the spot, told he hadn't been consistently honest with them, and locked out of his computer before the call even ended. What followed was one of the strangest 5 days in corporate history. Co-founder Greg Brockman resigned in solidarity. A petition circulated, nearly all of OpenAI's 800 employees signed it, saying they'd quit if Sam wasn't reinstated. Microsoft announced they'd hire him and take anyone else who wanted to leave. Then, Ilya, one of the board members who had fired Sam, publicly flipped. Whether out of genuine regret or political survival instinct, it didn't matter. The board had lost. By Tuesday, Sam was back as CEO. The board members who had fired him were gone. Sam now had a say in choosing their replacements. In 5 days, he had gone from being ambushed and expelled to running the company with more power than before. If you come for the king, you best not miss. The company that can't decide what it is. The strangest thing about OpenAI isn't the coup, or the pivot to profit, or the boardroom drama. It's the contradiction at the heart of the whole enterprise and how openly they've acknowledged it. Sam Altman has said AI will cure disease and poverty and be the most transformative technology in human history. He's also said it will most likely lead to the end of the world. Both things equal conviction, no apparent irony. OpenAI was founded to make AI safe and open. It became secretive and commercial. Created to counter Google's monopoly, it handed Microsoft a dominant stake in the most powerful AI platform ever built. It promised to share its technology freely. It now charges for access and licenses its models to corporations. Meanwhile, China's DeepSeek arrived in early 2025 and briefly wiped hundreds of billions off US AI stocks. OpenAI accused them of stealing intellectual property, which prompted the obvious rejoinder. OpenAI trained its own models by scraping the internet without asking anyone's permission either. OpenAI closed a $40 billion round in 2025 at a $300 billion valuation, the largest private tech funding round in history. Elon Musk and Sam Altman, who founded the company together, now run competing AI companies and trade insults publicly. Whether OpenAI saves the world or accelerates its end, they'd be the first to admit they don't know, and somehow that's the most honest thing they've ever said. What do you think? Is OpenAI one of the most important companies ever created or the most reckless? Let us know in the comments. And subscribe if you want more stories like this. There's plenty more where this came from.